Good evening, dear radio and television viewers. Well, today is an unusual day. Today is a magical day. The 8th of March is approaching. We have been eagerly waiting for it since last March 8th. And of course, I can't leave you today without gifts. So today, this video will be useful to everyone who has a neck and it somehow bothers you. Let's say it hurts. What are we going to do today? We'll make it so it doesn't hurt. Let's say you've noticed that it has become smaller, shortened all of a sudden. It was long, became short. Or it was never long, it was always short. Headaches, too, we'll deal with that. Pain in the shoulder goes there, too. The swelling on the face as well. So, friends, according to the latest data from scientists, both domestic and British, our hand, have you ever wondered what it's holding on to, what supports it, why it doesn't just hang down? The two main muscles are the upper part of the trapezius and the levator scapulae muscle. Now, I'll show them to you. So, friends, look at what we have here on this little photo. Here they are. Here is our upper trapezius. It covers everything from above, and under it is, see, the levator scapulae muscle. It goes straight to the corner of the scapula from these transverse processes of our vertebrae. There is such a cut here, but here it is also slightly visible. You see, here it is. Its task is to lift the scapula at the right moment. For instance, if asked, who, where from, you would respond, I don't know, it does this. And if our shoulder is slightly forward, it purely lifts the levator scapulae muscle. If slightly back, the trapezius works more. Here is a large trapezius muscle. We conditionally separate its upper part, but it's actually one muscle like this. The white one is its tendon part, which also attaches to the scapula. These two muscles, their task is to keep your shoulders at a certain height. And if the balance between these two muscles is disturbed, what will happen? Either the shoulder will go forward, or it will go forward and then hang here, or it will rise, or it will shift back, and it will constantly be overloaded here. The upper trapezius will be inflamed. And with the overload of this part of the trapezius muscle, pain often occurs here, in the nape, because the muscle, you see, it attaches to us at one end, to the scapula, and the other end here, directly to the occipital bone. And very often, when there is tension here, pain occurs here. Here, as you can see, there is also a deltoid. The deltoid muscle is right next to the trapezius. And they often work together at the moment when you raise your hands. And now we will do a test with you to understand, does your trapezius work at the right moment? Is it excessively strained? Does your head hurt from this? Has there been any limitation in the mobility of your neck, for example? What else could there be? If you want beauty, nothing hurts yet. Can there be swelling on the face? It could be because of this. The neck is short. If you want it longer, you can also lengthen it, due to what we are going to do with you now. That is, today I will show what to train and how to stretch correctly. What exactly needs to be stretched to relieve tension, discomfort in the neck, headaches. So, friends, we need to conduct a test with you. An arm. Choose which arm you will follow, which arm, right or left. I'll give you a few seconds for this. Have you chosen? Let's continue. You will be making a movement to the side, like this, approximately to the side. To the side, that is. Stand in front of the mirror. You can record yourself on video if you have a video camera, for example, or a phone equipped with a video camera. Many people already have such phones. And you make an arm movement to the side like this. And your task is to watch when your shoulder starts to lift like this. To what height you can lift your hand like this without lifting your shoulder, without applying any special effort. That is, you need to make a movement that is habitual for you. That is, you don't specifically try with all your strength not to lift your shoulder, but make a habitual movement for you with your arm to the side. And while doing this, look at what point, at what height your shoulder will start to move, to lift. What happens at this moment? When we start to lift our arm, the first thing that strains is the supraspinatus muscle. Here it is, such a small one, very small. All the tension starts from it. That's the first thing. Then the deltoid muscle is connected to it. Here is the deltoid muscle, well, quite well known. Many people love to train it in gyms to have such pretty muscular shoulders. They are considered a sign of masculinity and beauty in men, and therefore, they are also trained quite diligently in gyms. There is exercise equipment and various exercises for them. In general, look, first the trapezius muscle works, then the deltoid muscle, and then the trapezius might already be straining. However, if this order is disrupted, then all movement can start with the trapezius. That is, at the very beginning of the movement, you see, the trapezius strains like this. And not only it also includes the levator scapulae muscle. Because, as you recall, a few minutes ago, I showed you on the picture these two muscles on top of each other. They are located on top of each other. Here is the levator scapulae muscle. It's deeper, like this, and the trapezius is on top. And between them, what do you think is located here between them? What? What's between them? Incorrect. Between them, their two facets are in contact and must slide relative to each other for these two muscles to work separately. But very often, there are their fascial sheaths. This is such a formation, a sheath that covers the muscle in a fascial sheath. And it happens that their fascial sheaths stick together, merge. When one muscle tenses up, the second one inevitably tenses up too. This is bad because the angles of movement are disrupted, and every time the muscles start to work together. What should we do? We need to learn to relax one of these muscles. The trapezius is a strong enough muscle, it can withstand a lot of tension. But the levator scapulae muscle, usually, everything starts because of it. Because the trapezius muscle sticks to it here. And the levator scapulae muscle doesn't start working in time. It works too much, gets overloaded, there is a swelling here like this, and many people think they have such strong, good trapezius muscles, but it's just a swelling. When the swelling goes away, it turns out that there are practically no muscles there at all. And today, I will show you how to finally relax this constantly tense levator scapulae muscle. And let's also do how to separate one muscle from another. What do we need to do for this? Look, we have a trapezius muscle here. It's right here. And the front part of this muscle, it ends here. Here is such a groove, an intermuscular groove. You need to find it, get into it with your fingers. You need to get right in here. And with such a movement, you can go up and down. It's more convenient if you do it yourself. Along the front edge of the trapezius, you run it 10 times. For this, you slightly turn your head to the side here to make it more comfortable for you. Start from the top down. Make about 10 such movements from one side, from the other side. You found the front edge. But the most powerful one, see, if you take it like this, it will be the trapezius. Here you will find the front edge of the trapezius muscle, the front edge is here too. And along this front edge, make 10 movements from top to bottom. Then the second one. Put your fingers like this, also in front of the front edge of the trapezius. And with your fingers, you make a slight backward movement. Like this, you see. You pull the muscle back here. That is, you separate the trapezius from the levator scapulae muscle. In this way, you separate these two muscles. Do the same on one side and on the other side. This is the first. Well, like a light warm-up to the main action. The second is how to relax the levator scapulae muscle. For this, you will need a rubber band and a door. If there is no door, nothing will come out, nothing will work. So you need to fix the rubber band right on the door. just like this on top so it gets fixed. Take the rubber band in your hands, stretch it so that it would already start to pull your shoulder up. Why is this being done? To slightly strain your muscles in this position right here. The pectoral muscle, the latissimus, that is, those muscles that will pull all this down. You need to keep your arm straight during this so that you're not doing this stretch because of your triceps, not because of your arm muscles, but more because of your pectoral muscle and your latissimus muscle. And now, what are you doing? You turn your arm like this so the palm is facing forward, towards your line of sight. Here you are, standing, having turned your arm like this. Now, take a slight step forward so that your arm remains somewhat behind. Just like this. And take a step towards your hand so that your arm ends up behind your hip. That is, you should end up in this position. In this position. Let me show you on this one. It will probably be clearer. So you see, stand up, turn around, press your hand against the wall, against the door. And now stand up right next to the door. That is, your pelvis. Press your hips straight against the wall. So look at this. This is where you stand. This is the position you should end up in. And here, your shoulder is drawn back. And a little bit of rubber pulls all this up so that you pull all this down. Here, from this position, here is the starting position. The shoulder also turns out. It is pressed to the wall. From this position, you start to tilt. Tilt your head here to the side. While doing this, what happens? Due to the tension of the latissimus muscle, because the arm is in such a position when it pulls the rubber band, your latissimus muscle will tense up by itself. And in this position, this tension will already cause the initial relaxation of the levator scapulae muscle. Even if you simply put the rubber band like this, pull it there, the muscle will already relax. And in this position, you start to tilt your head towards the opposite shoulder. Tilted, relaxed, tilted, relaxed. Stretch. If you feel it right here, that's good. This is the first movement. The second is a bit harder. Here you need to slightly tilt your head first, then turn it, then lower it. And look at your toes. And in this position, you can slightly help yourself with the other hand. Also, stretch in this downward direction towards the toes. And here, you will also be able to stretch the levator scapulae muscle individually. It's better not to make a constant stretch, but to stretch, relax, stretch, relax. Here, from the other side, the same thing. But this is just what I'm showing you. When you do it, it's better to stand like this, right up against the wall. And here it is the same. That is, first you do this in motion. Second, you lean here, pull here. You fixed your arm here with a rubber band, and you pull here. Here, you have a levator scapulae muscle. First it relaxed, and then you stretch it. Why is it better to do it this way and not to pull right away? If your muscle is initially tense, always used to straining from any movement you make with your arm, it, as you see, strains. Then, during your stretching, it will remain tense. You will be stretching a tense muscle. This is not good. Your stretching will occur with trauma. The stretching will be traumatic. A swelling may occur there. Therefore, it is better to stretch this muscle in a relaxed state. To relax a certain muscle, you need to strain something else. For example, instead of it, you can strain a muscle that will stretch the scapula downward. We will shift the load to another muscle. Something else already fixes our scapula. The lower part of the trapezius is fixed, and the latissimus muscle and levator scapulae muscle allows to stretch itself. Here, this is our first exercise to relieve the load from the upper trapezius. Whoever has already felt relaxation, do not be shy. Share your feelings in the comments. This is greeted because it creates the impression that I am showing something effective. So we continue further. Next, we have the following exercise. Here, we already need to fix the rubber a little lower, approximately at the level of the elbow, plus or minus a few centimeters. At the elbow level, I won't take it out as I could barely fix it, so imagine that this is the elbow level. Do it at home at the elbow level, it will be better. Stand like this. What are we doing? We need to slightly shift the shoulder from the front position to the back position again in order to unload the levator scapulae muscle. It's better to transfer the load to the trapezius. Stand sideways like this to the wall, to the rubber band, and pull it here. Start from this position. Don't overturn your arm here. Start from this position and pull like this. Pull back, pull back. Your shoulder will start to rotate. If it has gotten used to this position, it will start to rotate slowly. This exercise will be good, even useful for those who have problems with the shoulder joint, because here you will have training of the infraspinatus muscle. Because this muscle is very often injured in problems with the shoulder joint, it intertwines in the joint capsule. Rotators, shoulder cuffs are related to it. This muscle, together with the subscapularis muscle, we try here to make your elbow as stable as possible. You can even put something here between your elbow and your body, press it somehow. And we do this kind of movement without any discomfort. We start from here, you can even finish here. Don't twist your arm too much. The rubber band should be thin for this exercise. It's for your shoulders to turn like this. So that, for example, if you are a man, you could please your beloved with your broad shoulders on the 8th of March. It even turned me around somehow. These exercises apparently work. And if a woman, then in front of other women, to be the most beautiful, competitive moments do exist in female interactions after all. So, friends, what do we do now? Lastly, how do we learn to raise our hand without straining the trapezius muscle? This is a bit more complicated. Look, I'll show you a few options. The first one. Here, this exercise. Take a look. I liked it. I'll do it more. It really stretches. You can feel it. Whoever. If you have the chance, do it now too. You'll be surprised. Because it's actually an exercise for the shoulder, but it just twists the shoulder like that. You don't even have to keep your posture. It twists everything by itself. Pay attention, for example. Look, there is such a peculiarity of our body. If we raise our arm with our backside like this, it will be much more difficult not to use the trapezius muscle. If we turn the thumb like this, that is, if our hand is turned with the thumb up, while the elbow, C, changes its position, the load shifts more to the front deltoid. And thus, we have less trapezius involvement in the lift. When we try to lift our arm like this, especially if our shoulder is in the wrong position, our trapezius will be constantly excessively involved. So, what should we do? Here is a groove, right here, between the deltoid muscle and the pectoralis major muscle. You need to find this groove and work it out nicely. And here, there is also a peculiarity here. That exercise we have just done with you, it gives you the opportunity to relax this particular spot. So you've stretched the rubber band and do just this action. You'll be surprised, because if you do it without it, like this, you might not even find the painful areas, because everything here will be under tension. And if you did it like this, just statically, for example, you hold the rubber band, pull it, the muscle here will relax, and you will discover that there are such tension areas here, even quite painful ones. And this, from one side and the other, you do such an action, that is, you relaxed this gap. It's the same thing, like between the trapezius and the levator scapulae muscle. Very often, such spikes form between the deltoid and the pectoralis major muscle. After this, that is, these muscles will be separated from each other. And then, at the moment when the arm is raised, nothing will particularly interfere with the work of the anterior deltoid. And it will be included more fully and will not interfere with the movement of the shoulder blade. One of the ways. There are many others, of course, about which we will learn with you in the following series. Well, friends, March 8th can't wait, so we're going to celebrate quickly. See you in the next programs.